Hello guys, welcome back to Yeagerists. In today's video, we'll be going through the story of Armin Arlert from Attack on Titan. Armin originally lived in the Shiganshina District of Walmaria. After his parents were executed for attempting to escape the walls, he was left to live with his grandfather. One day, after the latest in a series of beatings by bullies, Armin sat against a building, crying. Another boy, Aaron Yeager, appeared around the corner with a shady look on his face. Aaron asked Armin why he never fought back and claimed that was why they treated him like that. He then asked him if he wanted to be on the losing side forever. Armin then claimed that he was not losing by not running away. Aaron then asked for his name, and the two began a friendship. One day, Armin discovered a book belonging to his grandfather, describing the outside world. Inspired by what he read, he showed the book to Aaron, who was subsequently inspired by Armin's excitement to leave the walls one day. Reading from his grandfather's book about salty oceans, deserts, and other surreal or unheard of places, Armin expressed a desire to one day venture out and see these magnificent sights for himself. In the year 845, Armin would once again find himself cornered by bullies who mock him for his deep curiosity for the outside world. Refusing to fight back, Armin would later need to be rescued by the timely appearance of Aaron and Mikasa. Later, he and his two friends settle by the riverbank, where Aaron broods over his desire to join the Survey Corps. Just as Armin muses how the walls cannot protect humanity forever, the Colossus Titan appears and subsequently breaches Walmaria as Armin and the others watch in horror. As Titans flood the Shiganshina District, Aaron and Mikasa head back home to find their doomed mother. Armin tries to stop them, but finds himself petrified by fear. Unbeknownst to Aaron and Mikasa, Armin was the one to locate and inform Hannes to save the two before they get killed by the Titans. With no family left, Armin moved into a settlement with Aaron until the two of them turned 12 and were able to join the military. Armin decides to enlist into military training along with Mikasa and Aaron. He was able to pass the basic aptitude test after some effort and tried to help Aaron with it when he struggled to stay upright. Although high in intellect, Armin was considered weak in physical strength and did not graduate at the top of the class. The night after their graduation, and before the trainees had decided on their chosen section of the military, Armin sits with Aaron and Mikasa to eat and watches as Aaron responds to a taunting Jean by finally deciding to set the record straight and giving a moving speech to the whole of the 104th training on how he wants to kill the Titans to gain freedom and pursue his dream to see the outside world. After dinner, Armin finds Aaron and Mikasa sitting outside the building and joins them, saying that the party is over and that they should head back to the barracks. Before they do, Aaron asks Armin which section of the military he'll be joining. Armin sits down and reveals that he will join the Survey Corps along with Aaron and Mikasa. Aaron questions his choice incredulously, citing Armin's physical weaknesses. Armin affirms his worries by acknowledging that he is physically weak. Aaron responds supportively, but advises Armin not to follow his own crazy course of action while neglecting his own strong points. Armin responds bitterly, saying that he would rather die than become a burden. Armin is shaken by the news of the Titan attack on Trust. He trembles in fear, realizing how sorely unprepared they are to respond, but Aaron manages to shake him out of it. Later, Armin joins Aaron's squad in the middle guard of Trust and exchanges confident words with Aaron about killing Titans, and soon after departs with Mina Karolina, Thomas Wagner, Malaya Zaramuski, and Naktias to their assigned location. Along the way, Thomas is caught by surprise and eaten by an abnormal Titan. Enraged and vengeful, Aaron charges ahead of the others to engage the Titan, while Armin and the others follow suit. However, the group is ambushed and torn apart by the surrounding Titans, leaving only Armin and Aaron alive, with Aaron missing his left leg. Shocked and horrified, Armin is left immobile as a nearby Titan plucks him up and attempts to swallow him. Aaron, just barely conscious enough to remember how Armin inspired him to see the outside world, leaps to Armin's aid. Aaron hurls Armin out of the Titan's mouth, but is eaten in his place as Armin screams in anguish. Stuck in a state of shock for some time, Armin is shaken out of it by Connie, who questions where the rest of his squad is. Armin suffers a mental breakdown, despising himself for his cowardice that resulted in Aaron's death. He leaves to inform the rear guard of what happened, while lamenting how the world is and always has been hell. On the way, he encounters Hannah trying to resuscitate Franz. Armin tells Hannah to stop, seeing all too well that Franz is bisected and already dead. Armin is later confronted by Mikasa above the rooftops with the other stranded trainees. She questions him about Aaron's location, but as soon as Armin looks at her with tearful eyes, she understands. Armin blurts out the names of all the fallen soldiers in Aaron's squad, ending with Aaron himself. Despite his clear regret, Mikasa calmly comforts Armin and explains that they must not get emotional at a time like this. Armin follows as Mikasa guides the leaderless trainees to safety, but realizes how she is only masking her distress. When Mikasa carelessly uses up all of her gas, Armin comes to her aid. Soon after, Armin, along with 𝐀𝐫𝐸 and Connie, witness the appearance of the mysterious Titan who only kills other Titans. When 𝐂𝐫𝐸's gas is exhausted, Armin provides her with all the remaining fuel and blades that he has, seemingly ready to remain behind. Armin requests to keep one blade, implying to commit suicide with it, but 𝐂𝐫𝐸 and Connie refuse to leave him behind. With Trost's military headquarters overrun with Titans and the remaining soldiers running low on fuel, Armin devises a plan to lure the mysterious Titan towards the HQ to wipe out the surrounding Titans. Once inside the HQ, Armin constructs a plan to eliminate the Titans infesting the supply depot inside. While Armin and several other soldiers act as bait, members of the 104th's top 10 would slay the 7 Titans by jumping on them from the rafters. Armin's strategy works, and the trainees kill all the Titans and refuel their equipment. Shortly after, Armin witnesses Eren miraculously emerge from the mysterious Titan's nape, unconscious but alive. After being recovered, Eren is detained by a group of soldiers who are going to execute him. Armin and 𝐂𝐫𝐸 defend him as he wakes up surprised and confused. Eren plans to escape over the walls unless Armin is able to convince the soldiers of Eren's value to humanity. Eren tells him that his quick thinking has saved him and 𝐂𝐫𝐸 before, as he was the one who went to Hannes when Shiganshina was overrun. Armin, more confident than ever, walks into the open and tries to convince the soldiers of Eren's value in humanity's battle against the Titans, citing the many Titans Eren killed in his Titan form. As a soldier, he then passionately declares that he is ready to die for this cause and makes a grand salute. Pixis, noticing his determination and passion, prevents their execution. Now, with a boost of self-confidence, he tells the senior strategists that Eren could carry the boulder over to the hole while other soldiers could lure the Titans towards the walls. They proceed with the plan. Later, when Eren loses control of his Titan form and knocks himself out, Armin rushes to Eren and lands on his back, remembering the spot where Eren had risen earlier. Armin stabs him a little askew so that it would not be fatal, but would wake him up. He reminds Eren of his personal vendetta against the Titans, but Eren only becomes responsive once he reminds him of the world beyond the walls and asks him to think of the reason he wanted to go out there to begin with. Eren, successfully motivated by Armin's words, carries the boulder and plugs the breach. The newly returned Survey Corps help mop up the remaining Titans in Trost. Armin is then present as a witness to the hearing that decides Eren's fate as a now revealed Titan. The trial ends with Eren being placed in the custody of the Survey Corps' Captain Levi. He and 𝐂𝐫𝐸 are then separated from Eren until they're able to join the Survey Corps. Before the trainees are able to decide their chosen military paths, the news spreads that 2 captured Titans, Sunny and Bean, were slain, and Armin, along with other trainees from the 104th Training Squad, are called in for inspection. Armin, Annie, and Connie discuss which branch of the military they would join. To the surprise of Connie, Armin declares he intends to join the Survey Corps. Annie compliments Armin on his courage, but states she still wants to join the military police and survive. To Annie's surprise, Armin tells her that she is also a good person because he can tell she does not want them to join the Survey Corps either. She disagrees, saying that she is not a good person because she just wants to assure her own survival by joining the military police. After joining the Survey Corps with Eren and 𝐂𝐫𝐸 and the rest of the 104th's top 10, Armin participates in the Survey Corps' 57th expedition, venturing beyond Wall Rose. Not long into the expedition, Armin's squad encounters the female Titan, which is seemingly highly intelligent and has considerable knowledge about the military's formation. The female Titan kills Armin's entire squad, but spares Armin's life after carefully removing his hood and observing his face. As the female Titan moves on, Reiner and Jean meet up with Armin and the 3 pursue the mysterious Titan. Armin suggests the female Titan, like Eren, is a human control type and is likely hunting for Eren. The 3 attempt to engage the female Titan and Armin is thrown off his horse, but yet again, the female Titan does not kill him. The 3 manage to distract her for a while, though she immediately makes a beeline for Eren's position after warding Armin's group off. Though they survive the encounter, Armin, Jean, and Reiner are left stranded with only 1 horse, which is only strong enough to carry 2 at a time. While Reiner is patching Armin up, he thinks about the female Titan sparing him a second time. After being bandaged up by Reiner, Armin offers to stay behind, but luckily, Krista quickly arrives with 2 spare horses in tow. Reaching the Titan forest, Armin and his fellow soldiers perch on its many high branches, distracting Titans while Erwin confronts the female Titan. While they wait, Armin concludes that Erwin withheld vital information from most of the soldiers out of fear of traitors lurking among them. Jean criticizes his commander's action, but Armin defends Erwin, stating that playing it safe will not bring about change. When the expedition ultimately ends in failure, Armin safely returns to Wall Rose with the remainder of the Survey Corps. Before the operation of Stoez, Erwin, Levi, and other survivors from the 57th expedition hold a meeting in the old Survey Corps headquarters to confirm the identity of the female Titan. Armin shares his theory that the female Titan is Annie. Sometime later, in 𝐀𝐫𝐦𝐢 District, Armin locates and asks Annie, now a military police member, for her help in hiding Eren when they need to flee 𝐻𝐻𝐿 to avoid Eren's inevitable execution. Although initially hesitant, Annie accepts, and Armin explains that they must smuggle Eren out of 𝐻𝐻𝐿 by foot, taking an underground route. As he, Eren, and Mikasa enter the underground tunnel, Annie refuses to follow, realizing that Armin has led her into a trap. Armin confronts Annie, asking her why she was in possession of Marco Bot's vertical equipment during equipment inspection. Annie claims that she simply found it, but then admits to have killed the 2 captured Titans using her own equipment when Armin accuses her of such. Annie questions why Armin did not take action if he was already so suspicious of her. But Armin states he simply could not believe it, and questions why Annie chose not to kill him when she had the chance. Annie is not sure herself, but congratulates Armin on managing to corner her, confirming her identity as the female Titan. Armin fires a sound grenade, signaling hidden soldiers to restrain Annie. Despite their efforts, Annie succeeds in injuring herself using a barb hidden in her father's ring, allowing her to transform. Anticipating this, Mikasa grabs both Eren and Armin and takes them further underground as Annie, in her Titan form, attempts to grab them. Seeing that his strategy has failed, Armin initiates Plan B, trying to encourage Eren to fight Annie. Eren tries repeatedly to assume his Titan form, but can't do so due to his reluctance to fight a friend. Having no other option, Armin suggests he and Mikasa distract Annie so that Eren may safely flee. Realizing that if he doesn't fight, that his friends will surely die, Eren finally transforms into a Titan and fights Annie. After realizing that she is fighting a losing battle with Eren and the Survey Corps, Annie decides to make her escape by climbing over the wall. Mikasa cuts off the female Titan's fingers and Eren pins her to the ground, allowing the other Survey Corps members to extract Annie from the nape of her Titan. When Eren emerges from his Titan form and asks about Annie's fate, Armin informs him that no one knows. He shows him that Annie encased herself in rock-hard crystal upon being pulled out of her Titan. As Eren rehabilitates, Armin takes a moment to rest with the others. Armin informs Jean that Eren's summons to the king were cancelled, and then Annie is indeed the female Titan. She's being detained underground after encasing herself in a crystal to avoid interrogation. Reflecting on the mysterious Titans found in the walls, Armin observes that for all these years, they were being protected from the Titans by Titans. Armin could not fathom how the walls were built in the first place, but hypothesizes that abilities like Annie's hardening power were somehow employed. Armin's hypothesis is later confirmed when the rock sample that squad leader Hange Zoë had picked up from Annie's Titan body matched the properties of the walls. With this information in mind, Armin and Hange propose a way to repair Wall Maria, Eren to use his own hardening ability to mend that breach. Minister Nick informs the group about a girl in the Survey Corps who may know more about the walls, stating that while he cannot share any of the details, she can. Armin and the others immediately recognize the girl in question to be Krista Lenz. Rescuing Krista, Reiner, Bertolt, Connie, and a grievously injured Ymir from Utgard Castle, Armin and the Survey Corps regroup on top of Wall Rose. However, Armin shortly after learns of Reiner and Bertolt's secret correspondence with Annie, confirming his and Hanji's suspicion that the two are also spies. As Reiner and Bertolt attempt to take possession of Eren, they are attacked and nearly killed by Mikasa, but survive. A horrified Armin is present to witness Reiner and Bertolt's Titan transformation, marking the second and third appearance of the Armored and Colossus Titans respectively. Armin is called by Hange to aid Eren as he battles Reiner in his Titan form. Meanwhile, the Colossus Titan is kept busy defending himself from the rest of the Corps. Advising Eren to retreat to the wall, Armin provides Mikasa with his spare blades to support Eren against the Armored Titan. Armin and Hange put their heads together and realize that in order to move, the area behind the Armored Titan's knees must be unprotected. They then advise Mikasa to cripple the Armored Titan's knees, allowing Eren to gain the upper hand. However, just as the battle turns in Eren's favor, the Armored Titan lets out a loud wail, signaling Bertolt, who then proceeds to push himself off of Wall Rose and crash down on Eren and Reiner below. Reiner and Bertolt succeed in kidnapping Eren and Ymir in the chaos, and Armin informs Mikasa after she regains consciousness that 5 hours have already passed since then. Mikasa despairs at the news, but her and Armin's determination are revived upon hearing a rousing speech from Hannes. Joining a force comprised of Survey Corps reinforcements, garrison, and military police soldiers, all led by Erwin, Armin, and the others, begin pursuing Eren and his kidnappers. As Armin and the others reach the Titan forest where Reiner and Bertolt were resting, they are beset by Titans. Entering the forest with their vertical equipment, Armin's team encounters Ymir in her Titan form. Armin notices Ymir suspiciously surveying everyone and neglecting to attack anyone. His suspicions were confirmed when Ymir suddenly captures Krista and escapes, realizing that she has sided with the traitors. Reiner transforms into his Titan form and flees the forest with Bertolt, Ymir, and a restrained Eren in tow. Pursuing on horseback, Armin notes that while the armored Titan is slow, stopping him will be difficult due to Reiner not shedding his joint armor. Eventually, Armin and his fellow trainees succeed in latching onto the armored Titan, where they implore Bertolt to surrender Eren. Just as Bertolt suffers a breakdown, Armin and the others are forced to briefly retreat when Erwin charges into the fray, followed by a horde of Titans. The mass of Titans behind Erwin attack the armored Titan, slowing him down to a crawl, and Erwin leads his forces into the chaos, seizing the opportunity to rescue Eren. Unfortunately, Erwin is bitten and carried off by a Titan along the way, but Armin remains focused on the mission and joins the second attempt to retrieve Eren. Using his equipment to climb onto the armored Titan's head, Armin confronts Bertolt, purposefully taunting him with lies that Annie is being tortured while he and Reiner save themselves. Enraged, Bertolt charges at Armin but is intercepted by a grievously wounded Erwin, who slashes Eren off of him. With Eren secured, Erwin's forces retreat, but their escape is cut off by Reiner, who tosses Titans in their way. Armin is horrified by the risk that Reiner is taking, seeing that Eren could easily be eaten. In the struggle, Eren and Mikasa are knocked from their horse, and Jean is incapacitated as he and others rush to assist them. With nowhere to run, Armin drags Jean towards a small cluster of trees and prepares to face an advancing Titan with only one sword. He looks to Eren and Mikasa, seeing them in just as desperate a situation. However, Armin is saved when Eren's coordinate power suddenly activates, causing the Titans to attack first the smiling Titan and then the armored Titan. This allows Armin to retrieve a horse and carry a wounded Jean to safety. They retreat from the battlefield, mourning the loss of Hannes, who died in the chaos, and remembering their childhood with him. Returning safely to Wall Rose, Eren grimly remarks that he got captured again and asks how many people got injured because of him. Armin tries to soften the situation, saying that they experienced no losses on the way back, with the Titans ignoring them and only attacking the armored Titan. He mentions the female Titan being able to draw other Titans toward itself, and states his and Jean's theory that Eren had controlled the Titans this time. Sometime later, Armin is seen helping Jean and Sasha carry food into their new relocated house. Eren appears and reminds them all of the importance of cleaning off their shoes before coming in, causing Jean to yell at him and remind him that he is not his mother. Mikasa and Historia come back after chopping wood, much to Armin's shock, as he tries to remind her that she is not a wild animal and should not be moving around yet. As the group banter and argue, Sasha speaks on how this is like all of them being trainees again. Armin is quick to remind everyone that protecting Eren and Historia is an important task. He then asks why they were selected for Levi's new squad. Eren tells them all to finish cleaning before Levi and Connie return. The group then reunites with Levi and discuss Armin's idea of sealing the hole in Wall Maria using Eren's Titan hardening abilities. Hange informs them that Nick was found dead that morning, tortured and murdered by members of the military police's 1st Interior Squad. And Armin wonders how much he would have revealed, though Levi guesses he did not reveal anything. He also was there when Historia told about her past prior to her enlistment in the Survey Corps. During a failed test for Eren to harden his Titan form, Armin was present. He was also present when the group read Erwin's orders, looking shocked at the sight of it. During their first official operation, Armin served as a body double for Historia and is eventually captured by the organization that wishes to take possession of Eren and Historia. While being held captive with Jean, who was serving as Eren's double, one of the men harasses him, asking over and over to hear Armin's voice, as he was suspected to be Historia. Armin displayed great discomfort at this, being driven to tears from it. Armin is seen still tied up with Jean as the men issued to take Eren and Krista arrive, observing them silently before they are attacked by Mikasa and Levi. He and Jean then race from their positions, revealing that they were pretending to be tied up and tied the beaten men up. As Eren and Historia are kidnapped by the 1st Interior Squad, he's seen at Trust District preparing with the rest of the Survey Corps to retrieve the caskets in which Eren and Historia are being transported. One female member of the 1st Interior Squad gets through and tries to shoot Armin, but Mikasa kicks her and she lands on the carriage. She gets up, ignores Jean's threat, and knocks his gun away. While she is pointing a gun at Jean, Armin reacts quickly, pulls out his own gun, and shoots her in the head. Thus, he helps save Jean. After the Survey Corps retreat to safety, he was not able to take the guilt of killing another human being and becomes sick. Mikasa comforts him. Levi tells him that he cannot go back to being the way he was, as his hands are now already dirty. After the Survey Corps is accused of trying to monopolize Eren's Titan powers, the government begins arresting all members of the organization. Armin and the rest of the squad Levi avoid being captured and camp out in the woods outside of Stoez. The squad ambushes 2 MPs, with Armin distracting them as bait. 𝐀𝐫𝐸𝐬 and Armin take their uniforms and put them on with the intention of infiltrating the military police to find out where Aaron and Historia have been taken. But the two soldiers, Marlowe and Hitch, do not take their capture quietly and eventually gain the squad's trust, leading them to a nearby MP checkpoint. After crippling most of the personnel, Levi and his squad escape with a hostage and interrogate him about Aaron and Historia's location. They hear people approaching on foot and prepare for battle. To the entire squad's delight, it is Hange who informs them that the Survey Corps has been exonerated and that they have a lead on Aaron and Historia's whereabouts. As the group begins to ride for the Reese Chapel, Armin silently wonders who Aaron had inherited his Titan from. Armin plays a pivotal role in planning out their fight with the remaining Imperial MP forces stationed at the chapel. The plan is to take cover under the smoke by igniting gunpowder inside barrels, and also by utilizing their smoke signals, as it would be advantageous for them with their low numbers. Hange is injured during the fighting and Armin is left behind to take care of her. Armin and Hange meet up with Levi's squad after they escape the cavern and follow Rod's Titan as it makes its way to Orvwood District, meeting up with Erwin's forces en route. At dawn, the Titan arrives and Aaron, 𝐀𝐫𝐸𝐬 and Armin assemble a stack of barrels filled with gunpowder at Hange's direction. Aaron sees a group of kids below and remarks on how they remind him of himself and his friends on that day when the Colossus Titan first appeared. Armin agrees, but reminds Aaron that there's a difference this time, with them being ready to face the threat. To Armin's surprise, Aaron suddenly begins punching himself to bring himself back to his senses. After Historia has been crowned queen, he is seen helping out at the farm for the orphans and people in need from the underground. He and the rest of Survey Corps prepare for the upcoming mission for retaking Wall Maria and have meals together. Before they set out for the mission, he reminisces their childhood with Aaron and 𝐀𝐫𝐸𝐬 and enthusiastically talks of being able to see the outside world, stating that they should start by visiting the ocean. During the journey towards Shiganshina, he notices Aaron seemingly in fear and doubt and encourages him, reminding him of their collective dream to see the outside world, making him feel better. After arriving in Shiganshina, Armin and his squad take up positions atop Wall Maria. As the rest of his squad proceeds to the breach in the wall, Armin notices the remains of a campfire nearby and alerts Erwin. On Erwin's orders, Armin proceeds to the foot of the wall where he finds evidence that 3 people had been camping out atop the wall. He returns to Erwin to inform him of what he's found, and the two of them deduce that there's likely a 4th person accompanying their enemies who warned them of the Corps' approach so that they could hide. To Armin's surprise, Erwin gives him command of a team of soldiers and orders him to find where their enemies are hiding. As he is searching, Armin recalls the fact that the walls are filled with Titans and deduces that there might be hollow spots where the warriors could be hiding. He orders his team to search the wall for hollow areas, and despite their initial skepticism, Erwin orders them to obey. One soldier stumbles across a hollow spot and from within emerges Reiner, who immediately kills him. He prepares to attack Armin, but Levi swoops down and intervenes. Armin is once again entrusted by Erwin to help direct the battlefront where they would fight the Armor Titan. He relays Erwin's plan to take on the Armor Titan to squad leader Hange. After they blow Reiner's head off, he laments that with their abilities, they could not afford any negotiations. However, Reiner's Titan form gives out a roar and Armin immediately realizes that it might be a signal to call Bertolt. Sure enough, he sees a barrel hurling towards them from the sky, thrown by the Beast Titan. With the Colossus Titan coming from above, Armin and the soldiers try to flee from the scene, but turns around when he realizes Bertolt had not transformed yet. Instead of attacking Bertolt, Armin reminds everyone that they should make a last attempt to negotiate with him. Bertolt shares a bitter conversation with Armin, claiming that it was he who decided to come up with malicious schemes in order to conquer humanity. Thinking fast, Armin throws Annie's name in the conversation, declaring that only Bertolt is capable of saving her from the military police. Bertolt coldly dismisses Armin's remarks and approaches him with his blade ready. He reveals to Armin that he saw through his plan long ago, but he just wanted to ensure he is to kill them properly. A confused Armin asks why Bertolt thinks that all humans are descendants of evil, but Bertolt shrugs the question off and continues to advance towards him. Before he can reach Armin, however, 𝐀𝐫𝐸𝐬 attacks Bertolt from behind, forcing him to defend himself and then making a quick escape to find Reiner. Armin attempts to chase after Bertolt, but 𝐀𝐫𝐸𝐬 stops him, warning of Bertolt's intentions to transform. Sure enough, Armin soon feels an immense explosion resonating throughout the district, signifying that Bertolt has taken his Titan form. Armin witnesses the Colossus Titan destroy the district. When Jean asks Armin for a plan, Armin advises to tire out the Colossus Titan because it cannot climb over the wall. Jean interrupts Armin's plan, deeming it too dangerous to risk leading the Colossus Titan to the wall due to Erwin's group being on the other side. Jean concludes that a tactical approach is the logical plan. However, they have limited supplies, such as their vertical equipment. Armin realizes that this is their only chance of attack, solely counting on their current manpower. Jean asks Armin for the next phase of his plan, but Armin is out of ideas and requests Jean to take over. Following Jean's order to reach the river, Armin climbs onto Eren, who stays out of sight from the Colossus Titan. Jean tells Armin that he might be able to get a grasp of their situation. However, in the end, he would have to rely on Armin's planning for it to work. Armin, incredibly frantic, is reprimanded by Jean to stop. He is tasked to observe the Colossus Titan from further back while Eren attacks him to keep him from reaching the wall. Armin looks on in horror as Eren is kicked to the top of the wall by the Colossus Titan. As Mikasa retreats from a burst of steam from the Colossus Titan, Armin notices that Mikasa is hurt. She asks him if he has come up with any other ideas, but he has not. Before they can come up with any other plans, Armin looks on in shock to find the Armor Titan still alive and ready to battle once more. After some consideration, Armin finally comes up with a plan. He explains to the group that the Colossus Titan has become thinner compared to when it first transformed, meaning that it will soon run out of energy. Armin tells Jean and Mikasa to go after the Armor Titan, while he and Eren will take on the Colossus. Reminiscing the days when he and Eren promised each other that they would one day see the ocean, Armin comments that if this plan fails, he will never get to see it. Armin then stabs Eren's Titan form, telling him to wake up. Armin succeeds in waking Eren and explains the plan to him, telling him to go through with the plan no matter what. Eren hesitantly agrees. In accordance with Armin's plan, Eren lets his Titan form fall to the ground in front of the North Gate, seemingly defeated. Armin stays on the wall, pretending to be surprised. As Eren's Titan form falls, he secretly hardens his body and escapes through the nape, fleeing from the scene. Armin stays to face the Colossus Titan. Grappling to the Colossus Titan's teeth, Armin succeeds in getting Bertolt to emit a massive wave of heat and smoke. Armin remains grappled as the heat begins to hinder his breathing, but he remains resolute in his decision. Bertolt begins to pity Armin's selflessness and emits a massive wave of searing heat and steam to kill Armin quickly. As Armin's flesh, skin, and clothing begin to burn off, Armin chooses to remain grappled, realizing that he is about to die and that Eren must see the ocean in his stead. Soon, Armin's grip on his sword hilt is broken, sending his charred body flying to the rooftops below. As Bertolt inspects Eren's hardened Titan form, Eren uses his maneuver gear to get behind Bertolt, slicing him out of the Colossus Titan's nape. As Eren stands on the roof by Armin's body, he sorrowfully says that Armin was always the bravest of his comrades. As Eren mourns Armin's sacrifice, sadly looking down upon his body, Eren hears Armin breathing faintly and urges Levi to use the Titan injection on Armin. Levi agrees at first, but then reconsiders when he discovers that Erwin is still alive. After a tense altercation with Mikasa and Eren, Levi, remembering Erwin's final moments, decides to use the serum to save Armin and transform him into a pure Titan. Armin's Titan form eats Bertolt, who had been left behind on the rooftop for that purpose. After eating Bertolt, Armin emerges in his human form, unconscious and fully healed, having acquired the power of the Colossus Titan. While unconscious, Armin has a nightmare about Bertolt. When he comes to atop the wall, he notices Sasha lying next to him and notices her severe injuries. He sees Eren heading toward him and he hugs Armin when he reaches him, relieved that he's awake. Having lost his memories of the events immediately before his transformation, Armin is confused, so Eren informs him on the recent events that happened. After hearing this, Armin acknowledges that he ate Bertolt. He feels sick and asks his comrades why they did not save Erwin instead of him. Levi states that Armin should not let others regret their decision on choosing to save him, including himself. Hange claims that Armin and herself will have to prepare for whatever comes next and that they are in similar situations. Hange then says that she, Levi, Eren, and Mikasa will be heading out, while Armin and the rest of the soldiers remain atop the wall, resting and keeping watch. While Eren and Mikasa are imprisoned for having violated military law, Armin stays with them. On one occasion, when Eren wakes up screaming and confused, Armin reminds him why he was in jail. He's confused by Eren's choice of language at this time. For the rest of their time in jail, Armin helps Eren validate the 3 books discovered in the Yeager family basement by comparing them with Eren's memories. Here, Armin recognizes that his lifespan, like all previous holders of a Titan power, has been shortened due to the curse of Ymir. After visiting Historia in Trost, Armin attends a meeting along with the rest of the Survey Corps to discuss how the Wall people should progress following Shiganshina. He stays silent, seemingly until the end of the meeting when it is decided to make the basement's discoveries public knowledge. Later on, Armin joins the Survey Corps to be honored for their bravery and success in the Battle of Shiganshina District. Before the meeting begins, Armin brings up the matter of the Titan injection with Flock. Flock candidly states that Erwin was the better choice for the serum, and that all other people reading the report agreed. After a short argument between Flock and the 104th Survey Corps members defending Armin, the group is called into the hall to begin the ceremony. Armin receives a medal along with the rest of the Survey Corps. 1 year after the Battle of Trost District, the Survey Corps embarks on a scouting mission beyond the wall. After a long journey on horseback, Armin fulfills his dream when the Survey Corps reach the ocean. Down at the beachfront, Armin seems joyful at having accomplished his dream. Yet, when attempting to speak about the ocean with Aaron, he is only reminded of the threat lurking on the other side of the ocean. 1 year after retaking the territory within 𝐬𝐤, the military of Paradis discover a Marleyan survey ship near the island. Armin goes with the Survey Corps to intercept the forces and witnesses Aaron's Titan upend the ship and forcing it on the shoreline. After 2 spies, Yelena and Onyakhpon, rebel and shoot the captain of the ship, Armin watches from afar the two meeting with Hange and Levi. He notes that it is fortunate that they get the chance to learn more about the people of Marley, but is put off by Aaron saying Paradis needs to strike hard at Marley. Over the next 3 years, Armin works with Aaron to destroy more than 30 additional ships sent to Paradis by Marley. During that time, Armin notes that people from both Paradis and Marley are learning more about each other and that the citizens are just like them. Not all the people of Marley were enemies and are open to working together for a better future. Armin takes part in a meeting where Onyakhpon describes that he is from a different country and race than the Eldians. Armin asks him who made them all and is told the same one who made the people of Marley, the subjects of Ymir, and who granted the power to Ymir himself, a god. While at a shooting range with Eren and Mikasa, Armin is proud to see both sides cooperating and interacting with one another. He notes that the port at the harbor will be done soon, and believes that Eldians and Marleyans will soon be able to fully cooperate and work together without any tensions on either side. Eren then asks if he could see anything from Bertolt's memories, and Armin says nothing that could help them. He looks to Eren and asks if they should go along with Yelena's plan, but Eren cuts him off and claims that the world still sees them as monsters, feeling that it would be pointless. Armin reasons that they merely need time, and Eren again insists that Paradis must make the first strike against Marley to buy them the needed time. In 853, Armin and the rest of the 104th help construct railroads in Paradis. While aboard a train, Armin overhears the others discuss who should inherit Eren's Titan abilities after his tenure expires in 5 years. He silently reflects on how Eren valued each one of his friends and that due to wanting them all to live for a long time, he would not accept any of them as his successor. Armin is one of several Survey Corps men who journey to Marley's mainland to meet with Kiyomi. During their meeting, Armin is distressed to hear that it will be exceedingly difficult for the Azumobitos to convince the world's powers to begin accepting Eldians once again, noting that the only other option would be to take advantage of Historia. Eren leaves in the middle of the meeting, and Armin and the rest of the 104th graduates go to look for him. They find Eren and Mikasa speaking with a family living near the Azumobito estate and agree to eat dinner with the family, spending the night drinking and carousing. The soldiers sit in on a hearing between politicians to discuss Eldian mistreatment. They are horrified when the speakers begin calling for the hatred being shown towards Eldians to be redirected toward the Eldians living on Paradis. As they are listening, they fail to notice Eren quietly depart from the meeting. Eventually, the Survey Corps receive a letter from Eren informing them that he will be launching an attack on Marley against their orders and coordinate a rescue. Armin is tasked to infiltrate the Marley harbor near the internment zone at Liberio. At the time of the Survey Corps attack, Armin sits in the fishing boat within the harbor as the Marleyan armada approaches. When Navy soldiers call out to him stating that it is dangerous, Armin removes his cloak's hood and stares tellingly at them before unleashing an explosive energy burst inland, causing massive damage, transforming into the Colossus Titan. This explosion destroys the battleships coming to Liberio's reinforcement. In his Colossus Titan form, Armin looks down at the destruction that he has caused, noting sadly that Bertolt likely witnessed the same scene when he attacked Shiganshina District. He then exits from his Titan form and uses his vertical maneuvering equipment to make his way onto an airship that has been occupied by the Survey Corps forces. He discusses with Hange about entering Liberio by using the low-level airspace, moving alongside the lights placed earlier by the Survey Corps in order to collect their troops. A very dangerous mission as everyone has only one chance to board the ship, and the ship can also be shot down. Hange questions whether Armin is possessed by Erwin's ghost to come up with such a risky idea, but Armin replies that he wishes this was the case if that could give them strength. But at the moment, if they are unable to retrieve everyone and Aaron, they will have no future. Armin helps Aaron onto the airship and subsequently stops Mikasa from responding after Levi kicks Aaron and has him detained. The group goes to another room in the airship where they hear an uproar through the door shortly after. Jean then comes through the door with 2 restrained children, explaining that they had boarded the airship and one had shot Sasha, who was unlikely to survive her injury. Armin and Mikasa rush out of the room to see her, but Sasha dies shortly afterwards, prompting the two to break down in tears. Later, he meets with Mikasa, Jean, and Connie and reflects on how the anti-Marleyan volunteers were arrested even though they helped give Paradis aid. Despite agreeing with John's disbelief, Armin reflects that it was already decided while they were in Marley. He listens to Connie and Jean accuse Aaron of sending them to fight despite supposedly valuing their friendship, and is stunned to hear Connie's remark that Aaron laughed after hearing Sasha died instead of expressing sorrow or anger. Armin recalls how Aaron will be in control of the Founding Titan during the rumbling and resolves to arrange for them to talk with Aaron to determine which side he is on. Accepting that they must be prepared to kill Aaron if he switches sides, Armin proposes a worst-case scenario to have someone transformed into a Titan and obtain Aaron's powers before the end of his tenure. Mikasa protests this, but Armin repeats that they have to discuss with Aaron and determine first if he is still on their side. Armin later attends to the questioning of a group of 4 Survey Corps members who had spread the word that Aaron had been imprisoned after the raid on Liberio. Afterwards, Armin goes back to the holding area underground, where Annie's crystal is located. He goes over and touches it to try and access any information they can use. Suddenly, he hears Hitch behind him telling him not to touch Annie's crystal. Armin stammers that Titan memories can be transferred via touch, and was merely trying to see if he could see anything. He pleads with Hitch not to ban him from visiting Annie. They walk back outside and Hitch hands Armin a newspaper, reporting that people are distrusting the Survey Corps even more than usual. Armin agrees, but insists they must hurry and figure out Aaron's true motives before it's too late. Hitch goes off to help several other members to keep the protesters away, while Armin goes with Mikasa to a meeting scheduled with Darius Zackley. He is shocked to hear Darius refuse their request to see Aaron at this time. When Armin asks why, both of them are stunned when Darius reveals to them the belief that Aaron may be under the control of Zeke. Armin insists they can be useful in figuring out Aaron's motives, but Zackley still does not allow it and dismisses them. Moments after leaving, an explosion occurs and Mikasa grabs Armin and protects him from the blast. Armin and Mikasa are horrified to see both the mangled corpse of Darius blown apart from a bomb planted in his office, and the crowd of protesters seemingly in support of the act. During a meeting going over the attack, Armin recalls seeing Zackley's chair in his office and that Darius mentioned a group of recruits had brought it to his office. Having seen a group of Survey Corps recruits leave as they arrived at headquarters, Armin pieces the two together just as word reaches to them that Aaron has escaped confinement. At a loss for words, Armin goes with Mikasa, Hange, and Onyankopon to figure out their next course of action. Armin attends another meeting to discuss how the military will deal with the Yeagerists. Pixis instructs the military to secure Historia and Zeke and tells Armin that his defenses with the power of the Titans must be stronger than ever. Recognizing Pixis as the acting commander-in-chief, Armin asks him if he has any long-term plans. He is then surprised by the commander's reply that they should surrender to Aaron and begin negotiations. After the meeting's conclusion, Armin leaves with the Survey Corps veterans to visit a suspicious restaurant employing Niccolo. After arriving at the restaurant to question Niccolo, Armin and the others wait in a back room for him to finish cooking. A short while later, Armin opens the door to the dining hall after hearing a commotion and sees Niccolo attacking the runaway warrior candidates. He quickly calls the others into the main room, but is kept at bay due to Niccolo threatening one of the candidates. Eventually, when Mr. Blouse calms the situation down, Armin and Mikasa bring the warrior candidate who had killed Sasha into the back room, allowing the Blouse family to weep. As Armin talks with Gabby, he remarks that her mentality is very similar to how Aaron used to act. Just then, Aaron arrives unexpectedly and shocks both Mikasa and Armin. Armin tries to speak with Aaron, but notices his palm is cut and bleeding. Seeing Aaron's intent forces both Mikasa and Armin to comply with Aaron's demands. They sit down at the table with Gabby, and Armin asks Aaron if Flock and the other Yeagerists are there to harm the others. Aaron merely says they are simply being moved to another location. Armin asks Eren if Zeke and Yelena have swayed him to their cause and what drove him to attack Marley on his own. Eren merely responds that he is free at last to do whatever he pleases and questions if Armin is still visiting Annie, greatly shocking Armin. Eren tells Armin that if memories truly play a part in forming who a person is, that means Bertolt's memories have become part of Armin. He calls Armin a soft and useless pawn of the military. As Eren reveals Mikasa's heritage has been the sole reason she has stayed by his side, Armin notices that Mikasa is visibly suffering from this and orders Eren to stop. After Eren calls Mikasa a mindless slave, Armin goes to attack him, only to be blocked by Mikasa. This stuns and horrifies both of them. Armin is still able to punch Eren, who takes the blow and throws him against the shelf. Eren mocks Armin's fighting abilities and effortlessly beats him. As Eren orders his followers to take them away, Armin bitterly asks if Eren wanted the freedom to hurt Mikasa and calls Zeke a piece of shit while claiming Eren is the true slave. This angers Eren and has them all taken to Shiganshina District. Sometime later, Connie asks Armin to use his Colossus Titan to escape, but the notion is rejected due to the Titan's destructive power. Jean would then pry into the details of Armin and Mikasa's encounter with Eren, but Mikasa idly brushes off the question. Their conversation is halted when Yelena arrives and subsequently surprises everyone by shooting Grease for insulting the Eldians. As Yelena explains Zeke's true motives, Armin begins to cry, claiming he is moved by Yelena's noble intentions before a soldier arrives to inform them about the infiltrators. The Survey Corps members and other prisoners are subsequently alerted by the rattling of the walls, and Armin remarks that the Titans have started moving. Several minutes later, 𝐂𝐻 arrives and unlocks the cell door, asking they help Eren. As Connie slams him against the wall, Armin tells Connie to let him go and hear his side before doing anything. After 𝐂𝐻 continues to plead his innocence and that he did not desire to eradicate the Eldian race, Armin recalls the time when they conversed about how someone thought it would be interesting to have different kinds of people in the world, which includes Eldians. Helping him to his feet, Armin asks Mikasa if she wants to help Eren. After getting a reluctant response, Armin mentions how he believes what Eren said to him was nothing more than just a lie to make Yelena and Zeke believe he was on their side. He continues on by stating that when the rumbling is activated, the other nations will be observing from Marley and see that the few hundred Titans within the walls awaken will prevent them from attacking Paradis Island. After the other captured soldiers are released, Armin goes to suit up with Mikasa. As Mikasa continues to believe what Eren said about her to be true, Armin brushes her concerns aside and states that Eren used the excuse about her headaches to make the lie more believable. As they reach the roof, they spot Yelena staring up at the destruction overhead. As Yelena mentions how Zeke was able to defeat both Hange and Levi, Armin continues to play along and rallies the others to join the Yeagerists in saving both Eren and Zeke in order to save the world. Armin then turns around to see Yelena peering down at him intensely and then asks for them to save Eren. As the Survey Corps tries to get close to Eren, Armin and the others notice Zeke getting shot atop the wall and falling back down to the ground. As Armin decides him and Mikasa need to target the Cart Titan, they both get shot at by several Marleyan soldiers. After Connie launches a Thunder Spear and saves them, Armin overhears Commander Pixis and Nile Doc organizing the ground soldiers. He agrees with the plan and has Mikasa go with him to get behind the enemy. As they travel through the air, Armin and other Survey Corps soldiers hear Zeke scream and notice several flashes of light throughout Shiganshina District. They realize that the affected soldiers have been turned into Titans, and their task will now be even harder. Reaching the Cart Titan, Armin fires a Thunder Spear at it and destroys the artillery cannon. As Pieck and the soldiers try to kill Armin, Mikasa swiftly kills the two soldiers. Armin then angles around Pieck as Mikasa aims to strike the Cart Titan. As they are fighting, Armin and Mikasa are caught off guard as Wall Maria begins to crumble and are horrified to see the Titans inside emerging. As the Wall Titans begin to march, Armin assumes that Eren is using the Founding Titan to send the Wall Titans to attack the forces amassing in Marley to attack Paradis. However, he's perplexed to see that all of Wall Maria is crumbling, noting that an attack on Marley should have only required the Titans contained in Shiganshina's outer wall. He is interrupted by Eren, who begins speaking to all subjects of Ymir through the Founding Titan. To Armin's horror, Eren declares that he's going to be using the Founding Titan to completely exterminate all life outside Paradis Island. Armin and Mikasa regroup with Jean and Connie, who have Falco with them. Although Jean half-heartedly tries to justify Eren's plan, Armin is firmly opposed to the genocide that Eren is about to commit. Noticing their fellow soldiers being attacked by Titans, Armin and Jean go to help them, but Mikasa points out that they need to deal with Falco. Jean suggests feeding the boy to one of the Titans, while Connie argues that his mother should be allowed to eat Falco. Armin does not want to sacrifice Falco at all, arguing that killing him will only breed more animosity with the warriors, but Connie angrily points out that Armin is being a hypocrite for not allowing his mother to be saved the way Armin himself was saved. The group is attacked by a Titan, allowing Connie to flee with 𝐂𝐿𝐼 before the group can stop him. The group returns to the military headquarters, where they rally the soldiers trapped inside to help them kill the Titans, which have amassed around the building. After clearing out the first wave of Titans, Armin's group lies in wait at the building, while more soldiers lead the remaining Titans to the building to be killed. Armin recognizes one of the Titans to be Pixis, and quickly mourns the commander before executing him. After the fighting, Mr. Blouse brings Armin and Mikasa to meet Gabi, who begs them to return 𝐂𝐿𝐼 to her. Armin explains what has happened to 𝐂𝐿𝐼, and Gabi desperately tries to argue that Eren can return Connie's mother to normal with the Founding Titan, but Armin points out that Eren would likely have used such an ability on the Titans in Shiganshina if he could. Gabi frantically argues that Eren should be able to, as he was able to undo the Armor Titan's hardening abilities. Hearing this, Armin recalls Eren's proclamation that he has undone all hardening and realizes that Annie's crystal must have also been affected. Armin decides to depart for Ragako with Gabi to try to catch Connie. Mikasa tries to convince him that it is futile, but Armin is determined to at least try to preserve any chance of making peace with the warriors. Mikasa attempts to ask what they should do about Eren, causing Armin to lash out at her. Immediately regretting his actions, Armin laments that he was the one saved in Shiganshina, not Erwin, as Erwin would have been able to handle the current situation. Armin departs for Ragako with Gabi soon after. Armin and Gabi arrive at Ragako as Connie is preparing to feed 𝐂𝐿𝐼 to his mother. When Armin fails to talk Connie down, he reflects once again that Erwin should have lived instead of him and chooses to sacrifice himself to save Connie's mother. However, he is saved from being devoured by Connie, who explains that he has come to realize that his mother would not want someone else to be sacrificed for her. After returning to Shiganshina, the group takes time to rest and eat. As they are eating, Armin and Connie discuss the possibility of Annie having escaped her crystal. As they are speaking, they realize that Annie is sitting next to them. After receiving a signal from Jean to leave the military headquarters, Armin departs with his comrades. On their way out of Shiganshina, they pick up Reiner. The group camps out together and attempt to learn Eren's location from Yelena. Things go sour when Yelena instead begins trying to turn the group against each other by reminding them of each other's crimes. Armin's attack on Liberio's port using his Colossus Titan being one of them. She eventually gets Jean to attack Reiner for causing Marco's death, forcing Armin and Connie to separate the two. The group travels to Paradise Harbor with the intention of using the Azumabito clan's airship to pursue Eren, but find that it is already occupied by Yeagerists. The group gears up for a possible engagement, but Armin and his friends are reluctant to fight their former comrades. Their discussion is interrupted by Hange, who announces to everyone's horror that Eren has apparently already reached Marley. A desperate Magath apologizes to the Eldians for how he and the rest of Marley treated them and begs them to cooperate with him. As part of a plan to trick Floch into turning over the Azumabito mechanics, Armin and Connie ride into the harbor and tell Floch that they have been pursuing the Card Titan ever since it devoured Jean and Oyakupon. They tell Floch to send the Azumabito mechanics to help them start the ship so they can continue their pursuit and proceed to the ship without waiting for his response. They are stopped by Daz and Samuel and, seeing that the plane has been rigged to explode, demand that they disarm it. Daz and Samuel question them about their allegiance, and Armin and Connie manage to convince them to begin disarming the bombs on the plane. As they're waiting for the mechanics, Armin and Connie are horrified to hear gunshots, followed by an announcement from Floch that they and Mikasa are traitors. Daz begins rewiring the bombs on the plane, and Armin tries to stop him, only to get shot in 3 places by Samuel. As Connie wrestles with Samuel, Armin continues to try to stop Daz despite his injuries. Daz tries to shoot him, forcing Connie to kill Daz and Samuel to save Armin. Armin stretches out his arm trying to grab Daz, but to no avail, as his corpse sinks in the ocean. Armin then stares at a distraught Connie with tears in his eyes, while Samuel's corpse lays on the floor with 3 bullet holes. Whilst the fight is going on, Connie carries Armin up to Magath, who deduces that his wounds will heal soon enough. Connie goes to help the others, whilst Magath carries Armin aboard the boat. After his injuries have healed, Armin goes to the deck of the boat, where he's suddenly taken into paths by Eren. Eren reveals to Armin his Attack Titan's power to see memories of the future, and that all of his cruel actions in the past days were committed with the desire to distance himself from his friends in preparation for the atrocity he was about to commit. He attempts to apologize for beating Armin, but Armin insists that he should be apologizing to Mikasa for the things that he said to her. Armin asks if Eren's intentions were to set up his friends as the world's saviors, which Eren confirms. The world now owes a debt to Armin and his friends for saving it from imminent destruction. Armin points out that the outside world might still retaliate, but Eren reveals that his rumbling has wiped out 80% of the world's population, meaning all foreign nations will be unable to retaliate for the foreseeable future. Armin is horrified and asks if Eren's actions were necessary, but Eren ignores him and instead asks that Armin follow him to another place. Eren takes Armin to an erupting volcano to show him the liquid fire that he had read about as a child, lava. The two discuss Ymir Fritz, and Eren reveals to Armin's surprise that the reason Ymir remained servile to King Fritz even centuries after his death was because she truly loved him. The two proceed onwards to a new location, a snowy landscape, where Eren continues explaining Ymir's mindset. Armin is shocked to learn from Eren that Ymir was seemingly freed from her millennia-long servitude by Mikasa. Eren reflects that every atrocious act he committed was unknowingly done in the service of freeing Ymir, and Armin acknowledges the pain that his friend must have been in to shoulder such a burden on his own. Eren begins confessing more, but Armin cuts him off to spare him the pain. The two go to the ocean, and Armin asks Eren if he believes Mikasa can move on from him. Eren claims he does not know, causing Armin to punch him in the face for pushing her away. Armin ridicules Eren, suggesting that Mikasa will forget about him quickly, causing Eren to break down and admit that he doesn't want Mikasa to move on. Armin tries to convince Eren that they will find a way to keep him alive, but Eren refuses to entertain the idea, reminding Armin that he will never be forgiven for what he's done. The ocean scene before them transforms into a ruined landscape of trampled land and bodies, and Eren admits to Armin that he would have kept rumbling even if his friends had not tried to stop him. Armin demands to know why, but Eren claims he does not know. As Eren prepares to erase Armin's memories temporarily, promising that they will return after his dies, Armin finds a seashell on the ground. Giving the seashell to his old friend, Armin thanks him for everything he has done for Paradise's sake. The two embrace, and Armin is once again standing on the deck of the boat, with no memory of his and Eren's conversation. Annie calls him over to sit with her and thanks him for talking to her while she was stuck in her crystal, but asks why he chose to talk to her and not anyone else. Armin tries to tell Annie how he feels about her, but Annie chooses to instead believe that he only talked to her because he's a good person. Armin reminds her that he does not like being called a good person, noting that he has killed many people and chosen to betray his own race. Armin laments that the world beyond the walls did not match his and Eren's dream, but he tells Annie that he still chooses to believe that there is a part of the world yet to be discovered. After arriving in 𝐂𝐸𝐻, Armin helps move the flying boat into a hangar to be worked on. His comrades try to remove the explosives on the boat, but Armin suggests leaving them in case they are needed later. After helping the mechanics for a time, Armin returns to the boat to find Levi attempting to walk. He tries to convince Levi to continue resting, but Levi insists that they need to interrogate Yelena. As preparations for the flying boat near completion, Armin bids goodbye to Annie, who has decided to stay behind. Before the group can depart, however, Floch reveals himself and shoots holes in the boat's fuel tank, necessitating repairs. As repairs begin though, Eren's Titans arrive in 𝐂𝐸𝐻. Armin volunteers to stay behind to hold them off, but Reiner insists that the Colossus Titan will be needed to stop Eren. Hange decides to stay and hold the Titans off, and names Armin as the 15th commander of the Survey Corps. Armin and the others manage to get the boat running before the Titans reach the hangar. All on board are left heartbroken by Hange's death. Based on Levi and Pieck's descriptions of Eren's Titan and the knowledge that the Warhammer inheritors can remotely control their Titans, Armin and Pieck agree that the best plan would be for him to use his Colossus Titan's transformation to destroy Eren's Titan in one attack, although Armin still insists on trying to talk Eren down first. Prompted by Reiner, Armin reminds the group that Eren has not restricted them from using their Titan powers, even though he has the ability to do so, and suggests that Eren might be trying to goad them into stopping him. The conversation is interrupted when the group is abruptly pulled into paths. Armin immediately tries to negotiate with Eren, arguing that his actions will dissuade anyone from harming Paradis for centuries to come. He hears Eren's voice telling him that the rumbling will not stop, before seeing a childlike Eren in the distance. Armin, Mikasa, Jean, and Connie try to reach him, but they're unable to get any closer. Armin tries to get Eren to speak with them, but Eren tells him that he only called them to paths to tell them that they will have to kill him to stop the rumbling. As the flying boat reaches Eren, Armin tries to get 𝐂𝐸𝐻 to abandon the flying boat with the rest of the group, but 𝐂𝐸𝐻 insists on staying with the boat to get it as close to Eren as possible. As the boat gets closer, it comes under fire from the Beast Titan, and Armin and his friends are forced to abandon the boat in the middle of the barrage. Using their maneuvering gear, The group avoids the beast's projectiles and begin engaging it. They make short work of the beast titan, but find that Zeke is not inside its nape. At John's prompting, Armin orders his comrades to evacuate the area so that he can transform and use the blast to try to uncover Zeke's location. As he prepares to transform, Armin recalls his former conviction that leaders must be willing to make sacrifices and begrudgingly admits that he might need to kill Eren. However, before he can transform, Armin is attacked from behind by a titan. As the titan begins to swallow him whole, Armin is surprised by the sight of Ymir Fritz nearby, watching him. Inside the titan's mouth, Armin begins to suffocate. He concludes that Ymir is the one generating titans to defend Eren and begins to lament that he and his comrades are powerless to stop the two of them. As he begins to pass out, Armin sees Bertolt Hoover standing before him. Armin stares down at his unconscious body and grows frustrated that it will not move. As he remembers his friends, he begins insulting himself, lamenting that all he ever does is let himself and others down. As he angrily proclaims that he has wasted the second chance at life he was given, Armin realizes that he is surrounded by sand. Seeing the sand, Armin realizes that the fact that he can still see and think means he is still getting oxygen to his brain and is still alive. Realizing he is in the paths again, Armin realizes that he might be able to continue helping his friends through the connections all Eldians have in paths. His thinking is almost immediately derailed though when he sees Zeke Yeager sitting nearby. He introduces himself to Zeke, and Zeke asks Armin if Ymir has consumed him. Armin sits with Zeke and listens as Zeke explains his theory about the origin of life. Zeke theorizes that all life forms find their meaning by multiplying, and that it was a resultant fear of death which caused Ymir to spawn her undying titan body and escape to the world of the path. Zeke theorizes that the reason she continued to obey the Fritz family for 2,000 years was because she still felt a connection to the world, and that she likely chose to help Eren because he was the first person able to understand her. Armin tries to get Zeke to tell him how to escape the path world, but Zeke believes there's no point in continuing to fight. Armin reminds the man that their allies are fighting for the lives of innocent people, but Zeke points out that every living thing must die eventually. Seeing a leaf stuck in the soil, Armin recalls a time in his youth when he raced Eren and Mikasa to the top of a hill outside Shiganshina. Recounting the memory to Zeke, Armin claims that in that moment, he had felt that the only reason he had been born was to try to raise his friends. He had felt that same way reading as a child, feeding small animals and shopping with his friends. Showing Zeke the leaf from the soil, Armin claims that even though he does not need it to live, it is still precious to him. He hands Zeke the leaf and is shocked to see the human forms of many past Titan inheritors standing behind him. As Zeke wakes up the inheritors, Armin notices Ymir Fritz was watching them from the distance before turning to see Bertolt. Acknowledging his role in Bertolt's death, Armin asks his former ally to help him. Armin is saved from the Titan which kidnapped him by Mikasa, who slices its mouth open. The Titan manages to impale his leg with its tongue, and Armin uses a thunder spear to kill it, but he begins to get dragged down with its carcass. Connie cuts him free and Annie catches him. Armin explains to his friends that Zeke was able to use the connection all Eldians have to awaken the consciousness of some of the former 9 Titans. Their new allies are able to give them the opening necessary to detonate the explosives on Eren's nape. Reiner keeps the centipede in Eren's nape from reattaching, and the rest of the group flees atop Falco Grice's flying jaw titan, clearing the area as Armin prepares to transform. Thanking the 9 Titans who helped him, Armin bids goodbye to Eren and transforms. Emerging from the crater where he transformed, Armin follows Reiner towards Fort Salta, seeking to destroy the source of all living matter. Shortly after, another massive explosion rocks the plains, and Eren, now controlling the body of a Colossus Titan, emerges from the clouds of steam. Armin turns around to face him when the source of all living matter suddenly emits a cloud of gas. Armin continues his pace towards Eren, leaving Reiner to deal with the source. Ignoring the sudden horde of Titans, Armin attempts to grapple Eren, declaring that he will fight him until the very end. Although he lands a hit against Eren's head, he is swiftly disadvantaged when Eren lands a devastating blow against his own head. Despite the melee combat, he hears Mikasa's oath to finish Eren off, assisting by holding Eren's head in place to allow Levi to fire a thunder spear towards it. Receiving another crushing blow from Eren that caves in the left side of his Titan's head, Armin's assistance pays off as Mikasa is able to enter the mouth of Eren's Titan and swiftly sever his exposed human head. Armin awakes on the ground outside of his disintegrating Titan, his memories of his and Eren's final conversation restored. As he gets his bearings, Mikasa approaches him, and Armin is heartbroken to see that she is carrying Eren's decapitated head. As Armin weeps for his friend, 𝐀𝐫𝐥𝐬𝐬 asks if he remembers Eren coming to visit him now, and Armin confirms that he does remember. 𝐀𝐫𝐥𝐬𝐬's choice to kill Eren has destroyed the power of the Titans. After Armin has mourned his friend, 𝐀𝐫𝐥𝐬𝐬 tells him that she is leaving to give Eren a proper burial. The two agree that the best place would be under the tree he used to nap under when he was a child, and 𝐀𝐫𝐥𝐬𝐬 departs. Armin returns to the rest of the Eldians to find them being held at gunpoint by Secretary Muller and his forces. Muller demands that the Eldians prove that they can no longer turn into Titans or face immediate execution, and Armin steps forward in his people's defense. He points out to the Marleyans that if they still possess the ability to turn into Titans, they would be using that very ability to defend themselves. The fact that they are at the Marleyans' mercy must logically mean they no longer possess the power of the Titans. Muller orders his men to lower their firearms and asks for Armin's name. Armin introduces himself as the man who killed Eren Yeager. In the 3 years following the Battle of Heaven and Earth at Fort Salta, Armin and the other survivors are appointed as diplomats to facilitate peace talks between the outside world and Paradis. As they are sailing to Paradis to begin the talks, the group reads a letter from Historia, explaining the current state of Paradis' government. The ambassadors are all skeptical of their mission, but Armin is convinced that the people of Paradis will be willing to listen to reason when they see the warriors and the Survey Corps, former enemies, working together for a common cause. Thank you so much for watching this video. It really means a lot to us. We will see you guys very soon in one of our next videos.